Hello, this is Piotr, and in this video I will show you incremental reading. In one of the previous videos I showed you how to create flashcards from PDFs. Let's go back to this book. And now, let me switch highlights back. So this page is already heavily annotated. Let's move further. And let's say I am just reading the book. And I am finding a passage that is potentially interesting. So I highlight it. With scanned books and OCR and scanned books, you have to be careful with highlighting because it's easy to highlight more than you wanted. So I highlighted the passage and I click selection to annotation, and that's it. In the video about making flashcards, I would have opened this annotation and create flashcards from it, but now I'm just clicking start reading, which means that this annotation will be in special priority queue for further reviews. Maybe this is interesting. Annotation, start reading. End of the page, next page, and so on. So if we go now to the search screen, obviously I can search all annotations. I can search for all annotations that I added to reading list by clicking this start reading button myself. Search. And here they are. Oh, this is what we just added. So you see it has link back to where it comes from. We can open it for editing. I usually do it in the new tab. It's easiest to get back. So you see it shows the origin. It has content. We can edit it. We can create flashcards from it like in the previous video by making occlusions. Or, as we see in the reading status, we just added it to the reading list. If we click finish reading, it will drop from there. So now let's see this priority queue. This is it is a regular search for annotations, but with a special status that are being read, which means that they are in this priority queue and they are ready for reprioritization. Selecting this criterion makes buboflash switch on special sorting order by review priority. So I can see things the beginning of the queue here and all the way down. You see it was 0, now it's 1%, 1% still, 6% here, well 2%, sorry 2%, 2%. So you see buboflash has ordered them in the order that it wants me to review them. Unlike repetitions for flashcards which have questions and answers, this is only passive review. So the goal of reviewing these things in incremental reading is to decide later whether to create flashcards from them or not. So say Yeah, this is obvious, this rings many bells. Let's put it somewhere further, yeah, down the line, and it will be ready for reprioritization later. We reread it. Okay, reprioritize to default. Okay, and let's say we want to process this one further. It feels important, or we feel that we are already about to forget it. So let's open it. Let's make some flashcards. For example, by occluding this part, memorize, F5 to retrieve the web page, and this flashcard, memorize, refresh. We see our flashcards here. So I'm closing this tab. We are back here, and instead of reprioritizing it, well, we can reprioritize it if we still feel that we did not exhaust all possible knowledge of it, so all possible and important knowledge, but I feel I did, so I'm clicking finish reading. It drops from this queue forever. And now let's say after few reviews, in this case it is the first review, so after even the first review I decide that this passage is not important at all, so I click finish reading and it drops. I did not create any flashcards, I just decided I don't need it. So you see, let me find something that has, oh, this one. This one was added to the reading list on the 9th of April. Then I reviewed it, and there was only one reprioritization. I clicked one of these buttons to make buboflash put this specific annotation somewhere further down the priority queue. And that's really it. So again, to sum it up, incremental reading. The goal of incremental reading is to pre-select some material and decide later whether you need flashcards from this material or not. If you create annotations and put them in this reading queue, you have a chance of reviewing them over and over again at increasing intervals, but buboflash is not scheduling them exactly like with flashcards. This is the thing that you need to understand. Flashcards have exact feedback from us. We give ourselves grades, and buboflash knows whether we remember something or not, while annotations are really only selected and sorted based on priority. buboflash thinks that if we postpone something many times, it is probably not that important, so intervals or position in the queue really increases. It drops further and further down the queue. Okay, enough of this theory, and now I'll show you my actual work schedule. So, of course, I try to do repetitions daily or almost daily, and the drills that come from repetitions. So I do repetitions clicking by these links. Now for incremental reading, I don't do it every day. I do it, say, twice a week, or even less frequently, like every 5 days maybe. So I click here, review and reprioritize, and I try to well, I don't really try. I always reprioritize and work with as many or as little as I feel like. Mind again that buboflash is not showing exact repetition date. It's only showing that it thinks that I should review this specific annotation before this one. So I reread, try to understand the context, maybe re-edit sometimes, maybe create some extra annotations, maybe convert it to flashcards as I showed to you, and sometimes just drop it by clicking finish reading. And that's the point that I really want to stress. Don't do it every day. Do it at your own pace. These are not repetitions. Repetitions you need to do every day, but not incremental reading, at least not in buboflash implementation. I realize SuperMemo is slightly different. It has no feedback from us, but it uses some heuristics like shorter text gets reprioritized for later, or it has reading points in longer text, so it tries to make you read it tries to make you start reading where you finished. But again, a reading point in PDF doesn't make sense, because PDF is usually a huge book, 600 pages. So that's really it. And if you have any questions, you can contact me and we can discuss. I personally like incremental reading a lot, and I simply couldn't imagine reading about some more difficult subject like, say, finance without it, because otherwise I would simply forget what I was reading in previous chapter. So thanks for watching, and see you on buboflash.